So what I have in the last 7 minutes or so, I thought I'd give you one question that you haven't seen, and I'm going to use Top Hat for that. What I want you to do is I want you to use your knowledge of DNA replication, use some understanding of DNA replication, and then it is all just numbers. If you look at this, then you think, how on earth am I supposed to know what the minimum number of origins of replication per chromosome? Believe me, if you get a question like that in an exam, if you think, I don't have enough information, you're wrong. You probably have enough information. I tell you here as well, you have enough information to give me an answer for this. So have a go at this. Have a go at this like 3, 4, 5 minutes. I'm going to start the Top Hat. What I'm then going to do afterwards is I'm going to explain to you how you get to the right answer. But see, I'm interested to see how many people can get this right. So go and figure it out. By all means, talk to each other, because this is not an exam. And the Top Hat will be anonymous, so I don't care whether you have it right or wrong. 5 minutes or so. So I can see some numbers coming in already, that's good. I'll give you some hints. I'll give you a hint. If you don't know how to start, where to start, how many nucleotides per replication fork in one cell cycle? Why don't you start with that? If you don't have, if you know where you're going, fine. But I'll give you a hint every minute or so. I'll give you a hint. So you can see there's lots of different numbers there already. It is live, so you can continue going. I can't see the correct answer, so nobody's right yet. So let me give you another hint. So once you've figured out how many nucleotides per replication fork, maybe you also want to figure out how many replication forks are needed to replicate the entire genome. Still, if I can have your attention, still nobody's got a correct answer. You could see that more and more numbers seem to get up. I'll give you the last hint. With these 3 hints, so how many replication fork are there per origin of replication? Because it's asking for origins of replication. And I can know from the numbers that are coming up that a few people actually need this last hint, and then maybe they get there. But nobody actually has the correct answer. So let's put it back. And if you don't know, if this is an exam and you would leave this blank, can you just put a question mark? I've already put a question mark there. So if you would say, I'll just leave this blank, I have no idea. start submit the question mark. Question mark is growing. Okay, let's stop this. If I now take you through how you should have done it, I can't really see if anybody is right because the numbers should be so small. It's clear. 2084, 2083 is one. 1042 they're actually doing something right as well. But let's go and actually explain how I did it and also what you should have done to think about this. Hang on, I'll just go and click now. Okay, so the correct answer, let me put this away. The correct answer is 23. So how would I get to 23? Don't despair, I'll explain. So hang on a moment. So first of all, it tells you, it tells you that there's 100 nucleotides per second, the DNA replication speed. I'll put this thing on Blackboard later on as well. So the DNA replication at one replication fork is 100 nucleotides per second. That would mean 6,000 per minute and 360,000 per hour. Agreed? Right. So this is just numbers. So then, what you need to do is you need to know when DNA's replication is taking place. So you need to have some understanding. Is that all the time? No, of course not. It's only in S phase. So you don't want to use the 22 hours, you want to use the 8 hours because DNA replication is only taking place in S phase. So if you see the DNA replication at one replication fork, if you times that for 8 hours, you know 2.88 million bases, one replication fork per S phase. Clearly, one replication fork is not enough to do the whole human genome. So how many replication forks do you need to do the whole human genome? That was my second hint. So what you need to do is you need to divide your 6 billion letters by the 2.88 million nucleotides that are done on one replication fork. And of course that will give you the 28833, and I saw that as one of the answers. But of course, you can't have a decimal replication fork. You can't have a 0.33 replication fork. So if you ask for the minimum, you need to round that up. So you had 2,084 forks minimum. And we saw that number coming up quite a bit. So these people were there, but not all the way. Because that's not the answer to the question. Because the question asked how many origins of replicants per chromosome. So this is the amount of forks that you need. And my third hint was that, of course, one origin of replication, you open the DNA up, replication fork is going that way, and the replication fork is going that way. So each origin of replication has 2 replication forks going at the same time. So a minimum number of origins of replication needed would be 2,084 divided by 2 is 1,042. That is the total number of replication forks, but it's actually asking on average per chromosome, and I made it easier saying that we have all the chromosomes have the same number, and then you need to bring in a little bit more knowledge because you need to know we have 46 chromosomes, so you need to divide that number, 1,042 divided by 46, you get 22 0.65, and of course you need to round that up again because you asked for the minimum, so that's 23. And I know when you look at this, you think, well, where is he going on about? But this is the sort of level of exam questions. It is, if you've used your knowledge and you've used your understanding of DNA replication, it was just numbers. Putting in the numbers, doing it correctly. And yes, this is about DNA replication, but think that it has something to do with maybe a drug and the amount of fluid in a body, and you need to put all these things together. So I appreciate you're not there now, but by Christmas, hopefully you will be at this sort of level. Right? So let's have a 10-minute break and then we'll do the other lecture.